All right, so currently in my car, I just finished my shift at work, and I've just had this idea, or this kind of burning feeling and unsettling thought of I'm 28 years old and I'm so unhappy with where I'm at in terms of my life. I mean, let me just preface this, right? I'm 28, I'm in a major city, I have a decent job, decent career. The career on paper has good benefits, good pension, very, very secure. And, I have a wife, I have a kid, newborn, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful for everything I have. But it's hard for me to think about how in 10 years, at 38, I'd be doing the same job, going into work, doing the same commute, clocking in, putting on my uniform, sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day, staring at a screen, just like that. And then after work, just go home, do the same thing. And it's not about having a wife or family and child. I think those are the things that make it worth it. And I think the biggest thing is just the job. Having a 9 to 5, 8 to 4, I get it. It's great, and alhamdulillah, I'm grateful for, the opportunity and the blessing to be able to work this job. But I feel like I can't continue doing this for years and years after, and I think about what's next for me, right? Who is this guy? But yeah, what's next for me, right? Is this really my life for the next, I don't know, 20, 25 years until I retire? And I think about how my child will one day look at me and be like, Baba, what did you build, right? Or it's hard. I think life and society, I think for the most part, always, pushed us to, get a good job and everything will be set, or get a good career and you'll be great. And I find as much as stability in a traditional 9 to 5 has so much benefit, and who is still in their 20s, I think it can be a detriment, a huge detriment, especially if you get comfortable. And I think comfort and complacency is the biggest downfall and con about having a 9 to 5, right? Is because you can only push yourself so much and within the structure, right? And especially too if you're in an organization that doesn't reward different thinking, or doesn't reward the ability to create, or think outside of the box, then you end up learning skills that could be useful, but are pretty much useful towards climbing a very linear ladder, and you don't end up learning other skills that as a young person you can take more of these risks or these big swings, whereas when you're older, you don't have the appetite for, right? And that's what I find with myself. I'm in a very, very cushy job and position, and it's great, but I just find myself lacking the challenge. And also too, why would I want to be challenged if I get paid X amount no matter how much or how less I produce, right? And I'm not saying that's always a good thing, but I do find myself wanting to strive for more and explore other options, right? And being, I guess, one of the younger people in the area that I work, specifically where I work, I get to meet a lot of people that are, you know, in their 50s or 60s who are looking towards retirement. And, you know, obviously that is a blessing that they have to be able to retire. But I fast forward and I look at, you know, where they are in life and where I am in mine. And I don't know. I don't know if that's where I want to be in 20, 30 years, being in the same place, you know, taking the same commute, seeing the same people, saying, hi, Bob, hi, Jimmy, how's your day? Oh, you know, how was your weekend? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I can keep doing this, right? And to be able to look at my children and look at my wife, and, you know, I want to be able to tell them, like, hey, like, you know, Baba did something. You know, he aimed for something and he tried, right? And I want to try and be an example so that, you know, they can be like, wow, like, you know, there are these ideas, or there are these goals, and there are these risks I want to take, and like I want to do it and try my best like Baba did, you know, and he was successful, right? And it's been dawning on me, and like it's just been eating away at me, just basically like my body is being like, you know, before work I just have this sinking feeling, and it's like it's like it festers, and it's like, what are you gonna do? What are you doing today, right? Get closer towards your goals, right? And I remember today, like, just like halfway through my shift, and my eyes are like so like red and so like strained from like looking at a computer that like I started tearing up and just crying, and like I had to shut my eyes, like tears are coming out, and like I'm just strained, and like I don't know, I was just like, dude, like is this my life? Like I just like sit on a computer screen in a cubicle, like at my desk, like just like in this like slumped, like face forward kind of position, like just staring at a screen, right? When like, and we're in like in a air conditioned place, which, like, you know, air conditioning is a blessing, right? But like it's warm outside, it's nice, right? Like I get like, I want to be out, I want to enjoy, I want to do, you know, I want to like be active, I want to like move, right? Like I don't know if this is like how I should be spending 8 hours of my day, is just being like glued to a screen, right? And I know that I'll figure it out, but it's just, it's kind of crazy to think that, you know, the modern way of living more often than not involves subjugating ourselves to like, you know, like modern day slavery, or like just good enough. I think the majority of people are trying their best, obviously, to make a living and to work hard, but I think, you know, we often sell ourselves short and we settle for good enough. And I'm getting tired of just being okay with good enough. And I feel like in my early 20s up until now, I feel like I've kind of sleepwalked, right? Because of, you know, being comfortable and being okay with just good enough, you know? And I don't think that's the way to live. At least, I mean, not for everyone. I don't want to live that way anymore, you know? And I don't know, it's just crazy. I don't know, after shift, I'm just having these thoughts, you know? So, yeah. Well, thanks for watching.